Coming up next on The Spot, we've got a lot to cover this week, and to kick it off, we'll be taking a look at Activision's new trailer for Gun. We'll then be checking in with Ricardo Torres, who will be showing us some GunStar superheroes. We'll be following that up with a world-exclusive premiere of the new trailer for Harry Potter's latest adventure. Jason Ocampo will be stopping by to show off Day of Defeat's source. Then we'll share some new recon on Call of Duty 2. Rounding out our tour of duty today, we'll be taking a look at the latest in Dragon Ball Z simulators, stopping for a chat with Jack Carver in Far Cry Instincts, give you a sneak peek at the latest in GameSpot technology, all the while taking your questions and giving out prizes live and on the spot. Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of On the Spot. I'm filling in for Rich Gallup today.
You're not rich.
No, I'm telling you.
What are you doing here?
I'm hanging out. It's the first time I've been in the country for like a month.
That's right. You were kicking it in Japan and Tokyo for a while for TGS.
Yep.
But now it's the Ryan and Ryan show.
That's right.
Rich is out today, so we're holding it down over here. We've got Jason Ocampo and Jeff Gershman over on the other set, stand-up set. What's going on, gentlemen?
It's the Jason and Jeff show. I don't know about this Ryan and Ryan action.
It's Ryan and Ryan. It works, man.
We got Day of Defeat. We got
JJ stuff.
Dragon Ball Z sparking over here. It's all kinds of crazy over
So you're playing
here.
Day of Defeat Source over there right now. Are we playing it online? Are we able to get that going?
Yeah, we are online right now. Jason is shooting up some people, getting shot at, World War II. You know how that stuff goes.
How do they
Million
find you
shot
guys?
at.
Can they come over there and find you guys? Get in the game, or is it full?
No, the game appears to be full right now.
Okay.
So maybe later.
Excellent.
You never know.
Right on. Well, speaking of later, there's all kinds of fun stuff lined up. One of the things we've got to take care of at the top of the show, though, is today's the last day of our suffering. The ties.
The suffering.
Yeah, totally.
Baltimore.
That's right.
Today is the day that we give away a trip to scenic, beautiful Baltimore. Trip for two. There's Ravens tickets.
That's right.
Go see Ray Lewis.
Get some NFL action.
Get yourself some tickets. There's the box, which I can't even remember which site it's on anymore, but there's the box on this page. Go click on it, and you can win. You can still win. There's still time.
Yeah, basically, you got a half hour.
About a half
right?
hour that you can still go and win this. So if you want to go and see lovely Baltimore.
Be more?
That's right.
The other thing that we're going to talk about a little bit at the top of the show is for all you Need for Speed fans out there, if you guys are interested in Most Wanted, go ahead and send your information to us. You can use onthespot@gamespot.com for everybody. Basically, we're going to be talking to the dev team here pretty quick. So we want to know what the folks want to know about the game. So we definitely ask the questions that will get you the answers you want.
So if you got questions for the team that's working on Need for Speed Most Wanted, send them in to us. There's not going to be for this show today.
No, that'll be in the future.
In the near future, we'll be sure to get the team to answer all your questions.
Yeah, and of course, if you're a GameSpot Complete member, you can go ahead and use the form on the page to send us questions right here on the set live. There are already a ton of them building up right now, so definitely get your questions in. But enough about us and what we're doing right now. Let's go ahead and talk about Gun.
Gun. This is the new game. This is the Wild Wild West game from Neversoft, the Tony Hawk people. This is the first time they've done a non-Tony Hawk game in a while, and it looks pretty awesome. It looks really ruthless.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I've been watching a whole lot of Deadwood, and so that's definitely priming me for what it seems like the feel that they're going for with Gun. We just got a cool new trailer, didn't we?
We have it right here on the show.
It's brutal.
It is very brutal.
We want to show it to them?
Yeah, we're going to show it.
You don't think it's too brutal?
I don't think it's too brutal.
Let's show it to them then.
All right.
New Gun trailer. Check it out.
Now let me take you into my world. All you know is violence, blood, guts, death. You see for yourself just how brutal West really was. That dynamite does a day's work on a man. I am Colton. Gun. My story.
And that was some action of the gun right there. That was pretty good.
I didn't see any skateboards at all in that trailer. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. It's totally crazy. We got a live demo right here. My man Ricardo Torres is joining us. Long time no see. How you doing?
Good.
We've got a little GunStar superhero action, right?
We do.
And we got it kicking over here on the GBA. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got rolling over here. This is Sega's bringing this out here, right?
Sega's bringing this out. It's just like a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. You got peanut butter and chocolate together. You got Treasure. You got Sega. You got a sequel to like one of the cult hits on the Genesis time, which was GunStar Heroes.
Yeah.
And now they have GunStar Superheroes, which is a sequel.
And this is from Treasure?
This is from Treasure. We can hop right in and check out the game. We've actually got somebody playing for us because it's on hard, which is crazy. Everybody that knows Treasure knows they enjoy their shooting and they enjoy making people work. And the hard mode is pretty freaking hard. But there's actually some really cool bonuses if you play on the different difficulties. There's a basic story you'll get if you play easy. You get a little bit more information when you play on normal, but if you want to get like the whole deal on what's going on, you have to play it on hard, if you can.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I used to have super fun playing GunStar Heroes on the Genesis co-op, and yeah, that game was hard back then too. So it's glad to hear they're not letting up over time.
No, they're not, and they're doing some amazing. Well, I mean, you saw a lot of this because we played it together. I mean, they are working the GBA. It's cool too because GBA's kind of fallen to the wayside. You know, you got the DS, you got the PSP, poor little GBA. I mean, there's a micro, which is cool, but games-wise.
I actually got a funny question from Joey out of Honolulu, Hawaii. He's asking his question. He's like, is this game ever going to hit the DS? And it's like, right?
DS is backwards compatible.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, you can. Yes, in fact, it is.
Yeah.
And this is actually coming out here pretty quick, October 18th, right?
Yep.
And so what else? We're obviously seeing some intense action here. One of the things I loved about GunStar was like some of the boss battles. They got some of the crazy bosses in here.
Yeah, it's cool because they actually have homages to some of the older bosses. And actually, if you remember like the board game level at the end of the first one, they have something that's pretty similar. And it's crazy, requires much shooting. And the cool thing is it's been updated. The graphics are a lot cleaner. And they got some voice, which,
okay.
Back in the day in the Genesis was not big on voice.
No, it's just kicking beats on there, though.
Yeah.
So, I saw one of the menus at the beginning, like obviously in GunStar you had your choice of a couple characters. What about this one you got?
This one you have like the red and the blue storyline. And they obviously intersect and stuff because they're both part of this force, the GunStar superheroes that are, you know, out to protect everybody like they do. And what do you call it? They each kind of have their own kind of like reasonings and stuff for going through the story, so it's cool.
I think they're going to try to load up a different level here, show some action later in the game. But how much have you actually played of it?
I've almost finished it on hard, and yeah, it's hard.
Now, just so everybody's clear, is there co-op play in this one? Can we hook up to? No?
Sadly, no.
Oh, no way.
But, you know, I think what they've done is they've just made it, like, really hard to make up for it.
So it definitely it looks like it has the horizontal levels like we're seeing here, but it also has the vertical that we used to have on the Genesis?
Yeah, they play around with a bunch of really cool stuff. There's some really cool levels that use Mode 7.
Oh, really?
Do you remember what that was back in the day?
Scaling rotation, baby.
Yeah. So you got a lot of that. You got a lot of robots to shoot, and you have some really sort of fun kind of homages. Like here comes a boss fight where, well, I mean, does it get cooler than that? Not with sprites. And it, you know, you'd think that by now people would have tapped out the GBA, but you really haven't seen anything like this. The last time was probably Astro Boy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And hey, guess who did that?
Yeah.
Treasure. Yeah.
The other thing I know about GunStar, I mean, it was just like nonstop for, you know, the pace was just constant. Same case this time around?
Yeah, you don't. Well, I mean, obviously you just saved one person and he's back to stomp you. So yeah, you don't really get much chance to save your breath.
Now I see that stuff at the top. It looks like you have different abilities you can get. Is that right?
Well, it's like the only major difference from people that are thinking it's kind of like a direct descendant is, remember the original GunStar, you could pick up individual weapons and then you could combine them to do different things. In this one, you've got just 3 weapon types. and it's kind of up to you to figure out the best way to use them. And in addition, there's some really cool melee stuff that you can do now. You can do like slides and punches and whatnot. So it's actually a little bit more technical because you need to figure out which weapon is going to get you far. Because you remember like the old one, you would just pick up like the homing attachment and like that one really powerful rocket, and you just fly through the game and hold down the button.
Now, the other question I have for you before we get on to something else is how does it work in terms of like one of the screenshots? It looks like there's a vehicle. Do they use some of the Mode 7 stuff so you're actually like looking like you're going through stuff, or?
Well, there's some stuff that we probably can't talk about because I'm getting looks, but it's definitely a little bit more than just running around.
I gotcha.
You know, you're gonna have there's some really neat stuff in there that kind of reminds you of other things that maybe you played before.
Excellent. That seems like a very diplomatic way to say it with our friends from Sega.
Yeah.
So once again, October 18th is coming out with GBA. Is there any other news from Treasure as to are we going to see any other GunStar stuff in the future?
Well, they've got some stuff cooking. I think one of the things that they're good at is talking to their fans and kind of knowing what they want. They've got some stuff coming up that's definitely going to, I think, excite people. Some people that like their older stuff.
Some of their older stuff?
And it's going to be on the horizon, and you should hear a lot more about it real soon.
It looks like our friend is getting another go at this. Oh, I'm sorry. We've just been actually told right here, that's how live the show is. The date apparently has changed from October 18th to October 25th, right while we were doing this apparently. So.
Nice.
I got a couple more questions here. This one's from Kevin Darnell out of Calhoun, Georgia. How many different bosses are there?
Who?
We get a number from our friends from Sega. They're talking about that. Here's another one that you might be able to answer while they're talking about that. John Latour out of New York. He wants to know how many guns are there at your disposal. Is it just the 3 like you're talking about?
It's the 3. Yeah, it's the 3 and then melee.
And those 3 in the melee, that's across all characters. Right on.
But they have like slightly different.
Excellent. I've been told that there are apparently 8 bosses, Kevin. So 8 is the number you were looking for.
Yes.
So I think we're set there. Excellent. And we got a bunch more questions coming in, but I think we're about time to move on. Correct? So I think that is in fact what we're going to do, and we actually have a world exclusive trailer that I think you got a hold of, right?
Which one was that?
That was the one for Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and check out Harry Potter for the DS, and it's coming your way soon in this world premiere exclusive right here.
So there you have it, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, coming in November for the DS. But right now I'm here with Jason Ocampo, and we're playing Day of Defeat Source, which was just released via Steam. So for people that aren't familiar with Day of Defeat, I mean, this was originally like a Half-Life 1 mod, right?
Yeah, Day of Defeat was probably the second most popular mod for Half-Life after Counter-Strike. And it was basically a World War II themed mod. It's really popular though, and what happened was Valve ended up buying the property, the license, and they decided to released Day of Defeat Source with the new Source engine that powers Half-Life 2. The thing was, when you ordered Half-Life 2, for many people who ordered the special packages on Steam,
Silver and Gold,
Silver
right,
and Gold,
yeah.
you were, the Day of Defeat Source will be available when it's available, but you'll be able to play it for, you've already paid for it. Well, it's been about 10, 11 months, and they finally put this out, and it looks really good. It actually takes a lot of improvements to the Half-Life engine.
Cool. Now, is this using the HDR lighting stuff that we're going to see in the Lost Coast?
Yeah. In fact, this is one of the new things you'll see in a lot of the next-gen console games is high dynamic range lighting, which is a new technique to kind of make sunlight look more like sunlight. I mean, if you've ever been inside a dark room and you looked outside into the sun, you notice how blinding it can be.
I'm doing that all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a life we live. But in this, they've finally gotten the technology that they can actually model that in game. So it's hard to tell on the screen, but if you can see this on the on my screen, you're seeing that the brights are really bright, and it's not some kind of glow. It's much more natural, realistic lighting, and it just makes everything look better.
Cool. So now, what's your basic objective here? I mean, obviously it's like a multiplayer-focused mod, World War II theme. Is it kind of a capture the flag thing, objective-based?
Yeah, it's their objectives. Basically, each team has to try to capture all the little objective points on the map, and you all take a class. It gives you a different kind of weapon and ability, and ideally you work as a team. Unfortunately, my team is not really working as a team, and the Germans are really well organized, so we're paying for it.
That seems to be how these games tend to work out, I guess, right? So now this is available separately, like if people haven't picked up Half-Life 2, they can get it. It's like it's $20 or something, right?
Yeah, it's about $20. You can get it off Steam, just digital distribution. So give them the credit card, and you'll download it automatically, and within an hour or two, you'll be playing the game.
Cool. I believe there is a retail release for it planned at some point. How many maps are in the game too? Does it seem like it's a good value for the $20? Lots of different maps and stuff like that.
At launch, they've got about 4 maps right now, and they're really cool maps.
Cool.
All urban city stuff. Hopefully, we'll see more, but it's a start.
Well, let's run through a quick question here. Oh, we already answered this one. So from New Jersey here, is Day of Defeat running on HDR? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
So now you know. Now I'm going to throw you a crazy curveball here, unprecedented. This is a Call of Duty 2 question that absolutely must be answered. Joe Whittingham in Midlands, UK. COD2 is looking really stunning from the demo. The graphics and AI both seem really souped up. However, towards the end of the first game, I was finding myself a little sick of the fix and flank formula that had been used to deal with practically all the enemies. From what you've seen, has the second game added more variety and tactics to be used?
The demo, it feels to me very much like Call of Duty in that it's just insanity at 11. It takes it up. It's very chaotic. It's almost exhausting because there's so much going on.
Right.
They do give you a little more openness on the levels, so you can kind of go around the enemy if you want. If you try, you can do head on. So you have a bit more freedom. But it's a very much prettier looking version of Call of Duty at this point.
Cool. Well, with that said, why don't we get into another video clip here. We've got some DOA 4 footage as well as the aforementioned Call of Duty 2.
My name is Grant Collier. I'm the president of Infinity Ward, the developers of Call of Duty 1 and 2. Steps that we took to make Call of Duty more authentic and more immersive were, one, we have a lot of military reenactors that we work with who they live and breathe this kind of stuff. So we brought them in. We spent a lot of time photographing their equipment, photographing them. They're actually, all of our reenactors are in the game as models. They're the character models in the game. We also spent time with Captain John Hillen and Lieutenant Colonel Hank Kiersey. We asked them, what could have we done in Call of Duty 2 that would bring that realism up from what we had in Call of Duty 1. What could we do? And they told us 2 things. The first thing is that once the first shot is fired in battle, then surprise is gone, and then people are communicating. They're yelling, they're screaming, they're constantly talking. What we did is that we created our battle chatter system. So we have, I think, over 20,000 lines of dialogue for Call of Duty 2. And it's so big and so robust that actually just the battle chatter alone is bigger than what Call of Duty was as the whole product. It's woven in with the AI. Now, the AI, you have these vision cones and hearing radiuses. Let's say some Germans are flanking the player's position, and the allies, his allies see that. If they enter the vision cone, they're going to call out You know, we've got Germans on the left flank. You know, they're in the second window. They've got an MG42. Those call-outs, you know, the player will hear them. Also, other friendly AI, where it's within their hearing radius, they will actually redeploy to counter those threats. You're also going to hear stuff like I'm reloading. I am, you know, I'm wounded. You know, I need covering fire. And then the standard mission dialogue that furthers you through the mission.
We're back, and we are really back because you swapped sets.
Yeah, I'm hardest working man in show business.
That's right. You got all kinds of fun games to show off. Before we get to the live demo of Far Cry Instincts, I did want to mention, you can see it over my shoulder right here on this HD TV we got rolling. We actually have HD direct feed video of Dead or Alive 4 for the Xbox 360 on the site. You can find it there now. There's a couple movies. Check it out. And here's a little trivia question. Like, pay attention to the people that are playing, or at least the characters that are playing. See if you can notice a similar style between the two movies. There'll be a trivia question toward the end of the show, where there's some fun stuff you can win if you can identify who is who. But enough about that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about Far Cry Instincts.
Oh yeah, definitely. Far Cry Instincts is a brand new Xbox game. It's based on last year's PC Far Cry, which was one of the best shooters on the PC last year. However, one of the interesting things about Far Cry Instincts is that it's a completely different game from the PC version. I mean, basically the only things similar between the two are the names of the characters. In order to make it work for the Xbox, they started from scratch, you know, redid the entire game, new story, new levels, entirely new gameplay. And in many ways, the Xbox version has better gameplay than the PC version. It's really impressive.
Now, one of the questions I have, is it just the Hawaiian shirt? What is it about? Is it the island? Is it the fact the guy's name is Jack? Do I think, every time I hear a Far Cry, I think of Lost. It's like me and Lost, like equate, it's like I'm playing Lost the game, except he's got a gun and he does some business.
He's got a gun, and yeah, there's definitely lots of freaky stuff going on the island. You know, it's all, since considering the game came out, and the PC version came out about March or so of last year. Yeah, it kind of predates Lost, but you know, it's probably lucky for them. They've got that. You know, tropical islands are very popular right now, especially running around lost on them. It's a really cool, exciting game though, because one of the things that makes Far Cry Instincts work is that it's not a regular run and gun. It is very much a game where a lot of it is hiding in the bushes, stalking people, sneaking up behind them. But it's not complete Splinter Cell gameplay. So when it does come to gunplay, there are crazy firefights. So it's got a very interesting dynamic going on.
Well, let's jump in and see what we can find out.
Here we go.
I got a few questions if you don't mind me throwing them your way while you get this thing going. I have one from Jarrell Robinson out of Detroit, Michigan. He said he's played the demo of Far Cry for the Xbox. It seems the physics system has been toned down from the PC version. Is that true?
You know, it probably has been a little, just because the Xbox version has, you know, a little less computing power. There are still plenty of examples of physics in the game. In fact, one of the main boss monsters has this really nasty habit of tossing things at you, and including explosive barrels. And if they hit you, it hurts, even the non-explosive stuff. And so there's lots of examples of physics. It's been toned down a bit, but it's still there, and plenty of it, you feel it's there.
It looks like they have the capability to do some light bluing in here.
Oh yeah, this is a very, very great looking game. I mean, it's pushing the Xbox to the max, you know, taking advantage of all the shaders and stuff, but you've got light blooming, you've got realistic water, you've got just this jungle lushness going on that just, you know, you really do feel like you're in the jungle without the downside of, you know, being eaten alive by bugs.
And the cool light that comes from the sky that filters through the trees, that's really neat.
Yeah, if you look carefully, you see kind of like the shadows of leaves passing over the gun. Yeah. It's just really, really impressive. Eye candy.
So in the other one, you had the open environment. You were able to do a bunch of stuff like that. In this one, there's some melee action that wasn't in the other one, right?
Yeah. The PC game was very, very wide open, but for this game, it's a bit more linear. You know, it's very big levels, but you know, and you still have freedom to decide how you want to approach things. But it's much more of a story-driven game. You also do have new abilities, which are called kind of like feral abilities. It's not really spoiling anything because they put it on the back of the package, but somewhat time in the game you become injected and start mutating, evolving into, you know, different animals. And so what you get are crazy things like speed, you know, superhuman speed, and you can jump long distances.
Oh,
and get shot down in the air. You also have senses, so you can actually see in the dark, or you can smell you can see the scent trails left behind by opponents.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and the nice thing is, yeah, the melee attack. If you get close to an enemy and you're busy reloading, you just hit the B button and you kind of do a Wolverine-like uppercut and just rip them apart.
That's awesome. You hadn't gotten to it yet, so I'm hoping that there is some. But Adam Gillespie out of Kent, England, wants to know, from what he's seen, the game looks great. Is it possible that this could be a Halo beater in its online aspect?
Possibly. As a single-player game, I mean, it's very dangerous to go. You feel wary about going there, but this does feel like quite possibly the best single-player experience on the Xbox, including Halo. I mean, it's got a great story. It's got believable locales. It's beautiful. The action is great. There's different stuff to do. Multiplayer is very solid, although it's going to be very tough to beat Halo because no one has quite done it better than Bungie yet. But the multiplayer in this game is a lot of fun. There's a Predator mode, which basically turns one person into you, the Jack Carver kind of character with special powers, and then everybody else has to hunt him down. And you're playing this game, and literally, you've got you're in a group, and you think you've got each other covered, and all of a sudden this guy comes flying out of the air and lands in the middle of you and kills you all. Yeah, it's really cool.
I got some more questions here. From Coleman out of Buckley, Washington, do you think it is ever going to come out for the PC?
Oh, Far Cry. I would love to see it in the on the PC. In many ways, the way I think about it was the PC version was made by Germany, which created Far Cry, Crytek, the German company, and it was their very first game, and it was a great game, but you could tell it was a first effort. Ubisoft Montreal though created the Xbox version, and there's such great game designers there that you could just feel right off the bat that this feels much more like a solid game, and I would love to see it on the PC. I'm not holding my breath though.
How many? There's a ton of different questions I have for this game. By the way, you going to show us one more piece before we go?
Yeah. Well, go ahead and ask a question because I'll have to reload something.
Then while you reload that, I'm going to ask you this question. This is from Richard out of Wales, UK. It looks like the main difference between this and the PC version is the story mode. In what ways have they changed it? And if so, will the PC owners get any of these new features and story? I guess we kind of covered that a little bit. But what about the difference between the PC version in terms of the story? Is it?
Oh yeah. Like I said, it is a completely different game. It's not a port at all. It's a completely new story, completely new gameplay. You can do stuff now that that's really cool, like set branch traps in all the trees in the fort, in the jungle, and then you throw a rock, and the enemy patrol hears it, and they come walking toward you, and then they start setting off all the branch traps, and you just pick up all the guns afterwards. But crazy stuff like that. You can crawl underneath a hut, roll over your back, and shoot up through the floorboards at the guys above you. There's a lot of just really cool gameplay that wasn't in the PC version at all. And like I said, it's a completely new story. It goes in a different direction.
What is this you got on this screen here?
Okay, this is, you got to wait for the little exposition. This is when you first start getting your powers, and you're locked up in this crate, and you're like, okay, how do I get out? And you're saying, I'm feeling kind of funny, and then all of a sudden in a second here, it'll let me start punching through these doors, and then at which point you start discovering nothing's quite right because you'll look at your hands and they look very. Here we go. So one. Yes, this isn't something a normal human does, and one more punch should do it. There we are. Boom. Oh, wow. And then I'm like, what? Oh man, I soaked them in the dishwasher too long. So here we go, and get out. And so one of the nice abilities, you run up to a guy and boom, there he goes flying.
Nice.
Yeah, and what I love, the weapons in this game, the feel of the combat. You've got the melee, you got dual wielding. I don't have another gun right now, I can't show that off, but you've got just really cool weapon feel when you just let loose a burst and you get headshots and guys go down instantly. Otherwise, you hit them in the chest, they take forever. It looks great.
Kevin Miller wants to know. Kevin Miller out of Reno, Nevada wants to know. Can you play online with your customized maps?
Yes, you can, and it actually does have a map editor. It's actually one of the things that's starting to show up more and more in console games. It'll take some patience to trying to figure out, to use the map editor, but you can create a map and instantly put it on live, and people can share it and take a look at it, and it'll be very interesting to see what people come up with.
There's a few questions that are all kind of relatively the same. I'll pick Eric from Kansas City to kind of take the one. Basically, he boils down to asking, and a lot of people are asking, for folks that have played the PC version, are they going to be disappointed in any way? If they're fans of Far Cry, should they pick this up?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, it is. The only thing it really shares with the PC version at this point is the name of the game and the name of the characters. It is a completely different game. I mean, there are a few little things that you'll recognize, like on one level there's the aircraft carrier, and the end kind of finishes in a volcano. But new maps, new world, new story, completely different beast altogether. I have to resist on using the pun. It's a complete Far Cry from the original, but yeah, I highly recommend the game.
Aww. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You gonna hang out with us a little bit more?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sweet. Right now, you maybe get some Dave.
Get more Dave Defeat action.
on?
Yeah, I just gotta get the shooting action in.
Excellent. So right now, I think we're gonna toss it over the standing set where we got Ryan Davis and Jeff Gershman. You guys got some Dragon Ball over there, right?
We do.
Totally.
That game looks rad, by the way.
Yeah.
Far Cry Instincts, that game looks super rad.
So the one thing I need to know about that game, does it like pick up where the first game left off, like story-wise, or is it just kind of its own side thing? Is it self-contained? Or what?
Yeah, it's like the new Battlestar Galactica. It's a complete re-imaging of the original story. So,
and in this one, you can punch dudes really far.
Oh yeah, and that
was
that's
awesome.
a lot of fun.
Totally.
Speaking of punching dudes really far,
Yes.
what's going on, Jeff?
Oh, not much. Just punching dudes really far.
We've got Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi.
Yes, or
here.
as it's known in the mother country, Dragon Ball Z Sparking.
Sparking. That's with an exclamation point.
Yeah, Sparking.
So we're playing a little Dragon Ball Z Sparking here. This is not really Budokai 4.
Right. No, this is developed by Spike, which is they're probably best known for like the Fire Pro Wrestling games and that sort of stuff. And it's a very different game, but Atari's taking it to the U.S. and they're putting the Budokai name on it to try and get people that are into the Budokai games to
because people like the Budokai.
Yeah,
the Budokai is fun. So what we're looking at here, though, is a different game.
Right. But
it is still a fighter.
It is still definitely a fighting game. It's kind of more of a behind the back kind of thing than maybe some of the other games were. Going through the list here, the classic Dragon Ball Z fighters.
We're looking at real basic. I mean, the guys who are available here right now. These are real kind of early characters. I have seen a lot of footage from the game that show off a lot of characters from further along in the series, but obviously they're going to start you off at the beginning.
Right.
And some classic environments here, just like the cities, the big open
kind of the World
spaces.
Tournament stage.
World Tournament stage is a great place to start for a Dragon Ball Z fighting game.
Yeah.
So now this is not, like, Budokai kind of follows some pretty standard 3D fighter, just rules and regulations. This is going in a completely different direction.
Yeah, this almost, to me, feels a little bit more like the old Super Nintendo and PS1 games in that there's like a fireball button and that sort of stuff. But it definitely seems a lot better than those games were, because those games were all crap.
Those were not particularly great games.
No.
Not all of those came out here either. So.
Right, yeah, barely any.
So here you go, Goku, you're fighting Cell, you're at the World Championship, and you're flying all over the place.
That's right, so I can kind of lock on here. And
let him punch you, and then you're going to punch him back. So there's pretty much just like one dedicated like hand-to-hand combat button that you're then modifying with just like using different like directional.
Right.
Or right now you're just getting your butt kicked.
Pretty much, yeah. And then if I can just get away here for a second, I can take off. Oh man, knock me out of the ring. That's bananas.
He took you out. That's all it took. He just had to knock you out of the ring.
Crazy monster dude, totally.
Cell's first form took you out there in the world.
Well, let's take him on again here and see how this goes.
This is probably I'm gonna have to go on a limb here and say this is probably a rule that is specific to this stage, because this is they do have the whole ring out rule here. I've been messing around with this a little bit, and there are other stages that just kind of go on for a while. Obviously, you can do all the Dragon Ball Z stuff here that you want. You're going to fly up in the air. You're going to throw big, crazy, wicked energy attacks at each other.
I'm going to fly.
You're going to fly a whole lot. So I think you got to go lock on to that dude. Go in L1 yourself.
Yeah.
And you're taking damage there. Your clothes are getting all raggedy. Goku's not looking so hot right now.
Kind of unload on him a bit here and do a little boosting to kind of dodge his fireball attacks here. But he's... Yeah. Oh, it's got super attacks, in case you're wondering.
Well, people are wondering a lot of things about this. Justin Zuadi from the UK wants to know, is this going to be the last DBZ game to come out? I'm assuming he is saying for the PS2. Any plans for it to be released on the PS3?
I have to imagine that, with this game coming out here as soon as it is, I'm sure we'll see Dragon Ball Z games in the future on the PS3 and all that stuff, but I can't imagine they're going to bring this specific one out considering the length of time between this game's release and the release of the PS3.
So we're going to say no to this coming out on the PS3,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go out on a limb here. Probably going to be more Dragon Ball Z games for the PS2 in the near future.
Yeah,
They haven't
I would
officially
say
announced
that
anything,
that
but
seems pretty likely. They really like to get the Dragon Ball out as often as they possibly can because the kids love it. So
I'm going to double dip here. I'm going to ask another question from Justin in the UK. Will Tenkaichi be online playable?
we're looking through the menus right now to answer that very question,
and we're going to say
looking
no.
like no.
I'm going to say no. These don't look like we've got any sort of online options coming off the bat here. Let's I don't know. Let's play some more.
Get a little more fighting in here.
Let's get some of the characters in here. What are we looking at here? We're looking at the World Tournament. So this is just
This is like a
ladder
tournament mode. Like if you want to, get a bunch of people together and get your fight on, you can, seed a tournament and get going. Let's take Trunks with sword trademark. They've trademarked Trunks with sword.
Well, that's a different trademark to hold than the Trunks without sword.
Exactly.
They don't have.
They
that
don't have
one.
the Trunks without sword license.
That's
pricey.
kind of crazy. That's a tough one to get.
Yeah.
Jesse Wilkinson in Bradenton, Florida wants to know, he heard that the game features a split screen and multiplayer mode. Does this mean that we're going to be stuck with split screen all the time when playing against friends, or is it just when characters are too far away from each other to be on one screen?
Haven't actually seen the two-player mode yet, but yeah, basically, since you can fly around and do whatever the heck you want, the game is largely split screen when you're playing against another player. That gives you the freedom you would want in a game like this to get the distance, you get away from your opponents. And
without having
on.
to just pull out the camera super far.
Now, see, I was hoping to get a different background here because I do a little better when I'm in one that's got some cover. You get behind stuff.
That is
wide open area here.
One of the things
tougher.
that I've noticed a few of the other maps is that they do have there's 3D stuff for you to smash guys through, for you to hide behind.
Yeah, you knock guys into corners and you can really jack them up when you get down there. There's definitely some advantages to be found in the backgrounds themselves.
Let's see here. Nils from the Netherlands wants to know, is there story mode like in Budokai 3? Are there special movie attacks back in this game? As far as the story mode, it seems that they are kind of doing the same greatest moments from the series in their sort of single-player game. He's got his back turned. That's not cool. Ring out. There you go. You got to win on that one.
That's right. I gave him the business end of my business end, and Trunks with sword, victorious at last.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You want to show something else? I think we've had our fill of this.
Yeah.
So this is coming out October 18th.
Yes.
PS2.
Budokai Tenkaichi, or as I like to call it, Dragon Ball Z, Sparking.
It's great.
Yeah.
It actually has the exclamation point on it.
Yeah.
That's
Sparking.
great.
It's not sparking. It's sparking.
Ryan, what's going on over there?
We've got our very own sparking right here on GameSpot. Speaking of sparking, I think it's Monday is the day that GameSpot is going to be way sparking, correct?
We are setting it off.
I think right now we're just saying the week of October the 2nd.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
The week of October the 2nd, we are GameSpot is getting relaunched. We are coming out with a whole new look, and it's more than just a look. There's a whole ton of new functionality. Can we show people?
We're going to show people. We're going to give them a little sneak peek.
Let's show it. I want to look at this.
Let's
What
take
do
a
we
look,
got?
and we'll talk about what we're looking at as we check it out here.
Cool.
This video that you're going to see is basically shots of the site. There it is. That is what the new GameSpot is going to look like.
This is to preface this a little bit. Still working. This is not.
That's correct.
Still final of what you're going to see, but this is a rough idea of where we're going to go.
But this is my favorite part right here. Check this out. If you want to see PlayStation 3 trailers, for instance, or gameplay movies, you click on that, you hit the button, and then guess what? It serves you up just that. So you can finally sort your videos by your preference of choice.
By very specific
Totally. If I want to
search
see a video
parameters.
review, if I want to see a video review of just the latest PS2 games, I can do that.
Can I search by me?
I don't think you can do that.
Oh,
sorry.
I should be a search criteria. I demand it.
There will be an advanced search as well as, the whole search engine has been really redone quite a bit. So I think search is going to be all kinds of crazy useful, which is great.
So yeah, there's a whole lot of front end stuff.
And check this out. This is our new daily video feature.
Whoa. Hello and welcome to Today on GameSpot. I'm Rich Gallup. If you don't know, now you do, because I'm about to tell you all of what's happening on our site for Friday, August 26th. In our previews department, Brian Eckberg's written up the latest on Burnout Revenge's online play for both the Xbox and PlayStation 2. Andrew Park has an exclusive hands-on for Serious Sam 2 with a look at the single-player, multiplayer, and high comedy of the sequel to GameSpot's PC Game of the Year for 2001. Ricardo Torres has an exclusive multi-platform hands-on for SSX on Tour, as well as a character spotlight for the GameCube version featuring Mario, Luigi, and Princess Peach. Justin Calvert visited Codemasters in the UK and went hands-on with Toka Race Driver 3 for the Xbox and PlayStation 2. Jason Ocampo is ready to deploy with updated impressions of Conflict Global Terror for the PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 2, and Shattered Union for the PC and Xbox. And lastly, we have an exclusive designer diary for Spartan Total Warrior for the Xbox, GameCube, and PlayStation 2.
So there is your sneak peek of GameSpot, the new version of GameSpot.
You guys are doing a daily show?
We're doing a daily.
You are crazy.
Yeah, a daily video digest of everything that's going up on the site, and crazy exclusive stuff that you won't find anywhere but in that daily.
That's so rad.
Yeah.
Every single day.
So much rad stuff next week. Stay tuned. You can find a little information. We got a little fact up. If you go to the GameSpot community, you can go read, get a little feel for what it is that we're trying to do with this.
Yeah. So I mean, next week's just gonna be crazy. It's gonna be like a whole new GameSpot Plus. That all happened in the middle of XO5. So there's going to be all this Xbox 360 stuff for you to check out and use all the new site features to track all those games and keep tabs on them in ways you never thought possible.
It's going to be rad.
Totally rad.
I've got some questions over here for some folks. This one we've already answered. Tygan from Orlando, he was just asking us if we could show him any cool sneak peek of it. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
This is from Spud out of Massachusetts.
The Spud?
The Spud.
Whoa.
Will there be-
Spud Web?
That's right. Will there be any special things for complete members in the site redesign?
We've got some stuff in the works. Of course, GameSpot Ice is one of those things on the current site that was something for only complete members. We've given that an overhaul, and you will still get that light look to the site, and that looks definitely a lot cooler than before.
It's got a cool new name, too.
I've been straight up anti-ice since day one, man. Black backgrounds because we're edgy like that. But it looks really cool. I might use it this time around.
It does look nice.
It looks very nice.
And actually, you guys took care of Spencer Guy's question. He said he would miss ice if it was retired, but you have made him happy, obviously. And that's about. There's a few more, but I think we got more stuff to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little more.
We got a little bit more. Well, actually, toward the end of the show, should we take one of these crazy voice callers?
Yeah. Let's see what.
So we've got the number. Can we show the number? What's the number?
Yeah,
877-506-8324. If you're a GameSpot Complete member, call it. Leave your GameSpot Complete username and ask us a question. Say,
ask
hey.
us about Will Savage.
Yeah.
But here's the answer. It's Will with one L. Now you know.
And with a Y, right?
No.
I wanted it to be. So it's called that. We have Ryan. Who do we have here on the tip for us right now?
For right now, you mean?
For right now.
I think we're gonna hear from a gentleman by the name of Bobby Oler. And
Bobby,
he's got a question.
What's up, guys? My cousin plays Day Defeat all the time, and now that Day Defeat Source is out, I thought I might as well get on the bandwagon there. And I know that Day of Defeat Source isn't something you can go into a store and buy, but I'm not 100% sure of how to get it. Could you guys help me out with this one? Thanks. My name's ANTman90, and I'm Bobby Oler from Montgomery Village, Maryland.
Montgomery Village.
Bobby.
Big up.
All right. Well, the solution's pretty simple. Go to your web browser and type in www.steampower.com. Download and install the Steam client, and it'll walk you through it from there. But you'll be able to pay for Day of Defeat that way, and it will automatically download onto your computer over the course.
And you can take that anywhere, right? As long as you have your Steam download, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the Steam account's on that computer, you can run it.
Yeah, and there are. I think it is going to come out of retail at some point as well. I know EA and Valve have tied up for a distribution deal that's resulted in like a Half-Life 2 Game of the Year edition and like a Counter-Strike anthology collection thing. So they're definitely packaging up all this Steam stuff in a variety of ways and putting it out in stores. So if you don't have internet access, but then if you don't have internet access, why would you want Day of Defeat in the first place? So there you have it.
Snake eating its own tail.
So can I tell the people who won the awesome trip to Baltimore?
Oh, who wins the trip for two to Baltimore to go see the Ravens?
Be more.
It's the Ravens versus the Browns, I'm told.
Oh, yes.
So who is it? Drum roll. Who's the winner? Big winner.
Eduardo Ramirez from San Antonio, Texas. Congratulations. You have won yourself a trip to Baltimore and some action.
Baltimore. Land of plenty.
The land of 1,000 lakes, I believe they call it.
Well, hopefully, they've recovered from that whole suffering thing with the crazy monsters with the heroin-infused hypodermic needles coming out of the ground.
The dogs with man heads.
It's actually quite nice there now.
Though maybe, that might make Baltimore more interesting and a little more scenic, I think. So,
so Ryan, you're pulling out the big guns now. Well, before we do that, we gave away a bunch of like 8,000. I believe we gave away 250,000 copies of the Genji
demo.
Dawn of Samurai.
We have those winners as well.
Okay.
Since there's so many of them, we put them in this cute little video thing that's going to roll real quick.
Okay.
So they can check it out.
All right, let's see who the winners are now.
Go. Yeah.
Look at it. Sean O'Neill, what's going on? Jacob Wood, that's my man. Richard Ball, James Von...
That's
Christ,
not a real
you
name.
can't use that.
Spencer Guy. What kind of name is Spencer Guy?
Bob Claffin, I thought that was a antihistamine.
Jose Mind Chamber Ortiz.
It's too big for the screen.
Entering the octagon, Ben Feldman.
Paul Butterworth, son of
The
Mrs.
Bobby Oler. Roger Overcast. Man, that guy is dour.
Is that a slap?
Derek Rogers, Frank
Rizzo. Not Frank Rizzo.
Rizzo. Congratulations, all
That's
you. You'll
not
be getting
your
your
real
your Genji Dawn of Samurai demo discs soon.
Very soon.
Very soon.
We
Ryan,
have
you've got some cool stuff over there.
I
now.
do.
We're gonna give some other stuff away.
I've got this crazy Tony Hawk's American Wasteland deck.
That's a skateboard. I think we like to call that.
If it had wheels, I think that'd technically be.
Yeah, sure,
It's just a deck.
Show
them the
the
art
bottom.
on the bottom.
You gotta show them the
man.
bottom.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right.
That
Let me
deck
go
artist
this way.
is
This
Other
way.
way, there we go.
pretty sweet. Now that's done by Jimbo. I can't remember his last name is escaping me, but it's the same guy that did the art for the game. It looks like.
Are they all the same? Let me know.
Bo Jones, I think it is.
This one's a purple deck at least.
So you got different types
Purple.
of them. You got purple, you got a red one, but
That's insane.
it's all the same art.
Yes.
Cool, still shrink wrapped, total collector's item.
Yeah, that is
Fully.
kind of cool. I also have this Call of Duty bag. See this?
We've got these Call of Duty 2 bags
Yes.
with a Call of Duty 2 T-shirt inside the
That is
bag.
correct.
Fully collectible.
Totally.
Don't take the T-shirt out of the bag when you
There
win
we
it.
are.
Oh, you already took the T-shirt out of the bag.
It was already out of the bag.
Okay, well
Now it's not mint.
Now, Jason, you have to autograph it, and we'll put a certificate of authenticity in there.
The
so
other
you
thing,
get
the other thing I don't have right
Otherwise,
here,
it's just near mint.
right.
but I do have back in the office is I have 3 more copies of that Marvel Nemesis demo disc. So we can throw that in there as well.
We'll
Cool.
just
Yeah,
throw
we'll
those
throw
in.
it in there. Just send them all to Will Savage. He could use them.
Right.
So how are we going to give them away, Ron? What's the
There's
call?
one thing I know that's kind of crazy. It was actually something that Itagaki, the creator of Dead or Alive 4, was talking about. There's 2 movies that we have on the site right now that show gameplay. He plays one of these characters. So it's like and basically his idea was like if you can guess which one he plays as, then that should be worth something, he thought. So I think so as well.
So we think that's worth like a skateboard
I think that's worth a skateboard
or a deck? I'm sorry.
Deck. Don't
A stick.
misrepresent the prize, man.
A stick.
It's a stick without trucks or wheels. You know,
So yeah, so if you're a GameSpot Complete member and you're watching right now, you should wait until after the show. But once the show ends, which is very close, momentarily actually, you should check out the DOA4 game space, and GameSpot Complete members can download the HD movies.
The new
check them
HD
out.
movies that we have for that, very high res, very cool direct feed stuff from the Xbox 360. So the question is, guess which character that Itagaki is playing
And
as.
there's 2 movies, so watch them both.
Are we talking like the 2 most recent movies?
Yeah,
There's 4 movies showing 2 fights. is
Right.
what
Oh,
it
okay.
is. So yeah.
4 movies, 2 fights. Figure out who Itagaki's playing and send it in the form below. GameSpot Complete
totally.
members with your full name and full mailing address. That it can't stress that enough. Very important.
And get the character names right. Do a little research.
There you go.
They aren't shown in the video. I'll give you
these
that
these
tip.
are sweet prizes.
Yeah.
So come on, just
Yeah.
put in a little work, a little elbow grease. That's
So
all
I think
we
that's the
ask.
show.
Excellent.
I think that's the day.
Great show.
Right
Yeah,
on.
totally. I thought it was good.
Sure. Have fun.
That's
Sparking.
Yeah, it's
Sparking.
fun.
Sparking.
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 All right.
That's it. So from all of us here at GameSpot, of course, everybody here on set, everybody that helped out today, our good man Roger Chang, who puts the show together every single week. Tim Tracy over here directing. We got Tyler, we got Dave, we got Dino, Frank,
Ricardo, props to Ricardo and our friends
getting
at
us all kinds of
Sega.
cool hookup stuff. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Jeff
Totally.
Ryan,
Not you though.
Ryan, Jason,
totally.
always a pleasure.
And of course, thank you folks for watching, tuning in, and sending us your questions. Be sure to call the 1-800 number throughout the week. Leave your messages. We'll get to them next week. And as always, we'll see you next week, every Thursday, live right here on the spot.